Hello and welcome to another episode of UpGrade with Maria Kay. I'm Maria Kay, and this is the podcast where your success, freedom and happiness get a weekly boost. It's always an honor to know that you've taken time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me. And it's also very exciting to me to know that you have taken this decision to tend to your very own personal, professional or spiritual upgrade. If you would like to contact me and have a one-to-one conversation with me, feel free to join our Facebook group, UpGrade with Maria Kay, or go over to the website, upgradewithmariakay.com, and download. There's resources there, there's free gifts, there's things that you can tap into to further assist with your journey. It is my absolute honor and pleasure to be able to support you on your journey. So go ahead and take what you need from there. In today's episode, I am raising the importance of discipline on our upgrade journey, which for many spiritually orientated people can be a tough one to crack. Now, I teach and talk a lot about going with the divine flow and tuning into and honoring exactly where you are in any given moment, which doesn't always bode well with the concept of having a certain amount of, or even any discipline in our life, regime, or daily routine. I have come to know that the most powerful formula for any self-improvement journey is the merging of both the spiritual elements of what we know to be true, the spiritual truths, along with the personal development truths, the stuff that we know that goes on in our mind, and the fact that we also know that we can rewire our mind, which then in turn allows us to rewire our behavior, which then in turn allows us to experience a completely different reality. So the formula goes like this: personal development plus spiritual development equals life upgrade. Or we could switch the word development around and slot in focus. So spiritual focus plus personal development focus equals life upgrade. The terminology really isn't overly important. What's important is the utilization of each element in equal measures to create a beautiful, powerful balance. If we were to focus purely on, I'll go with the flow and I only do things when I feel like it and I'm always in divine flow and I never force myself, I never push myself, I never set goals. Now, I used to be really, really afraid or averted to the kind of harsh go, go, go ethos with regards to my journey. And eventually I needed to face up to that, because what we resist really is what we need to pay attention to the most. Right? So if we find that there is resistance to either or of those elements that I've just presented, then it's a good idea to assess why. Why am I resisting? What is it I'm afraid of? What lies am I buying into? Whether it's ego lies, so coming from kind of within based on a perception or a previous experience, or perhaps something that we're seeing around us. One of the easiest ways is develop a series of repetitive daily habits or rituals and have them feature in your day every single day, regardless of what day it is. Yeah, Christmas, birthdays, weekends. Now, how do you decide what those rituals or habits are? You will need to identify, first of all, where you want to be, your goal, your vision, your upgrade, your desires, and then work backwards. And if you'd like more tuition on that, then jump back into previous podcasts. There's a podcast for everything. We're building up a beautiful, very supportive podcast library. So if you want more in-depth help on that, jump back. But first of all, we identify what it is we want to create or manifest or attract. And then based on that, we develop a daily practice. Some people call it golden hour, some people call it power hour, daily practice, me time, upgrade time. Again, terminology isn't important. What's important is identifying and matching up the activity to the goal. So if you want to feel more at peace and more centered throughout your day, then it's likely that you're going to choose to have some time meditating feature in your golden hour or upgrade time. It doesn't have to be an hour, by the way. It can be 10 minutes, it can be 20 minutes. It really is not important, the length of time. What's important is that you dedicate yourself and you decide and you adhere to and you honor your word to yourself and you show up for this repetitive act or ritual that you are going to be repeating on a daily basis. Now, that's the easy part. It's easy to decide what you want to do. It's easy to decide and set a schedule or a plan, a 30-day plan, a 60-day plan, a 40-day plan. It's 6 months, right? It's easy to decide and say you're going to do something. The important part here is the discipline. But I will stress that if you're feeling as though you're not able to be disciplined, if you're feeling a little bit averted to or resistant to bringing something like this into your upgrade journey, then as I pre-mentioned, it's worth looking at why. Why are you resistant? And there could be a ton of different reasons. One of the most common reasons is that we do not believe that we are capable of it. We do not believe that we can stick to something on a daily basis. We do not believe that we are strong enough, energetic enough, focused enough, good enough, sometimes also deserving enough. So I do recommend that you have a little bit of time and set it aside. If you're feeling resistant to bringing an element of discipline, an element of repetition, an element of ritual into your life, then have a look at why. Because anything worth achieving is worth spending time and energy on. Notice there how I kind of took a traditional catchphrase, which is anything worth achieving is worth sacrificing for. I didn't use the word sacrifice, and I want to just touch on that for a second. The reason I didn't use the word sacrifice is because if you are working towards something that you know you absolutely desire, and that desire is coming from your heart, it should never feel like a sacrifice. It should never feel like a sacrifice to show up to your yoga mat in the morning, if that is what you've decided to do. It should never feel like a sacrifice to write in your journal every day for 10 minutes. It should never feel like a sacrifice to attend a daily live broadcast given by somebody that you admire in your field. If you are on purpose, if you are following your heart's desires and moving from that space, then it would and should and mustn't ever feel like a sacrifice. And if it does, then there is another opportunity for you to assess why. And if you're not on point and on purpose, there is also your opportunity to course correct. So if ever you do feel like not showing up to the activity that you have promised yourself you're going to do, simply jump to your desired outcome and just hang there in your mind, in your emotions for a little while and remind yourself why you are doing this. Why you have decided to set aside the time every single day to show up and take action, inspired and divine and passionate and heart-centered action towards the revealing and unraveling and unfolding of your upgraded life. Until next time, Maria Kay.